2024 marked the end of a chapter in the story of the Old Settlers celebrations. The final Bum Malleck Memorial threshing was held at the Malleck family farm south of Indianola. With the passing of Griff Malleck, who had been instrumental in organizing and hosting the event, the tradition came to a close. His absence is deeply felt by all. But as one door closes, another opens. Griff's wife, Vickie, was left with the question, what should be done with the historical buildings that Griff had poured so much thought and dedication into restoring? She made the decision to donate them to the Indianola Historical Society. We were honored to accept them. What a meaningful addition to our community's collection of local history. One of the buildings donated was a blacksmith shop. Built around 1920, the structure originally began as a granary. Granaries of that time were labor-intensive. They typically featured large doors that wagons or trucks could drive through, with storage on both sides. Farmers would unload grain by hand, scooping it out of their wagons into the granary. Throughout the year, they would return to the stored grain to feed their livestock. Thanks to items from the George Phanerick estate, a relative of the Mallecks and a local farmer, the old granary found new life as a blacksmith shop. Before his passing, Griff had begun planning with St. Francis, Kansas blacksmith Tony Howard to demonstrate the ring of the anvil during the annual threshing event. Tony is active in the trade at the Bird City Threshing and the McCook Farm and Ranch Expo. The other historic structure donated was the restored District Number 27, a one-room rural schoolhouse. Red Willow County first organized school districts in 1886. According to the county's first school census, 19 children between the ages of 5 and 21 were enrolled. The two oldest students in District 27 at that time were 19 years old. You can still find District 27 on maps of Red Willow County and Indianola Precinct, dating back to 1886, alongside many other one-room schoolhouses. Originally, District 27 was known as the City View School. The current structure was built in 1896 and eventually became better known as the Malleck School, since at one time half the students attending were from Malleck families. The school remained in use until 1970, and over those many decades, countless memories were made.
Of course, in those days, you didn't have to have very many hours to teach school. So she went just 1 year and was planning to teach in elementary school. And there was an opening, in a teaching position open in Indianola that year, and so she, of course, applied for it. Well, there was at least apparently one other applicant, another lady, maybe some of you have heard of Grace Whitmore. She also applied for the job the same year, and they happened to be high school classmates. And the school board did not want to choose between these two hometown girls to offer that job to. So you know what they did? They flipped a coin, and Grace won. And so she got the job. But then a job opened up in the District 21 school, or 27, excuse me. And so she got the job and taught there, as the article says, for 2 years. But anyway, my mother kept asking me, she says, I want to go out there and see if that school building is still standing. And she kept after me to take her out there. So one Sunday afternoon, I said, sure, we'll go out there and look for it. And sure enough, there it was. And I happened to bring my camera along and took a picture of her in front of the building, had the District 27 sign above it yet. It was kind of a typical hot, windy Nebraska summer day. The wind was blowing in the whole bit, but there she is in front, and that's where she began her teaching career. It's very personal thing to me, and I'm glad to see you're preserving that history on your corner here.
When the school closed, its future became uncertain. It sat on land owned by Harry Foster and was used by local Boy Scouts and hunters. At one point, there were plans to convert it into a taxidermy shop by Harry's son, Trevor.
Hello, I'm Trevor Foster. I just was in town today and noticed the old schoolhouse being moved, and it sat on our family farm for years and years and years. And I remember as a kid growing up, the amount of time we spent in it. Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, everything. We'd camp in it and just look for artifacts around it and really mess around, do a lot of fun stuff there. My grandmother, Isabel Foster, taught in it. My Aunt Shelley and Uncle Scott went to school there. My father did not. And unfortunately, I didn't. I was too young, but it's cool that Griff and Vickie moved it from our farm to their property, restored it, and then now it's coming to town. So it'll be a great deal for the Historical Society, and brings back a lot of memories for me. I just had to stop and check it out because knowing the condition it was in when they took it was crazy. So very unique. So I'm very, very thankful for the Mallecks for moving it.
Thankfully, Harry struck a deal with Griff Malleck, trading the building in exchange for hunting rights. District 27 was then moved for the first time to the Lester Malleck farmstead.
Yeah. I look back and we moved this thing the first time in June of 2013.
Really? I'll be darned. Over to Griff Malleck's place. He had bought it and moved it over there and was going to restore it.
Yeah.
Everybody thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, because it was about to fall down.
Griff hired local carpenter Tom Manker to lead the restoration. Many of the items inside the schoolhouse today were either donated or salvaged from other historical buildings. Remarkably, District 27 is the only one-room schoolhouse of the 71 that once stood in Red Willow County to be fully restored. It quickly became a highlight of the Bum Malleck Memorial Thrashing event. A great deal of preparation went into readying the Indianola Historical Society's corner lot to receive these incredible historic buildings. The 40-foot container that serves as a mini museum for Indianola's memorabilia had to be relocated to make space. Then, excavation began for concrete footings, foundation pads were poured, and cement blocks were laid. At the Malleck farm, asbestos siding had to be safely removed from the blacksmith shop. The base of the building required reinforcements before it could be moved. Once preparations were complete, Star House Moving of Grant, Nebraska, was brought in to relocate both buildings. Although poor weather delayed the original moving date, by Tuesday, March 25, 2025, the schoolhouse was prepped, loaded, and ready to make its journey to town. The move drew a crowd of curious onlookers and even attracted local media coverage.
We just got out of church and I turned on to Main Street and saw Jim Winchell standing on the lot, and I said, they're moving the schoolhouse, so we're going to go look. And here we are.
We build cribs underneath these beams right here.
Yeah.
And then we have hydraulic jacks, which are in that yellow trailer that we lift up on. I think we went up 2, maybe 3 foot above the foundation, and then we put this beam on, which those dollies are what obviously helps us go down the road. And those are hydraulic powered too, which we have hoses there that run all the way up to the semi, so we can lift it, lower it, go side to side with it. For the most part, the moving part is probably the easiest part. Usually getting it off the foundation and then putting it on the new foundation and getting it all lined up is usually the hardest part. But with something this small, it's fairly easy for us.
It's pretty easy.
Because it doesn't take as much to move it one way or the other. Yeah. I think in terms of getting it to Indianola, it just depends on the utility companies, how long it takes them to lift their lines or have to detach them or whatever. So.
Yeah, I looked up and here was an airplane come right over the top of us this morning. And I just knew Griff was in that plane looking over us. There's a guy underneath there steering those axles. You got her pretty well lined up, didn't you?
Getting close.
First shot.
Yeah, looks like it might need to go a little bit that way, but
Yeah.
We'll get her.
Yes, no kidding. God dang. Got it here finally.
When we get it there to the foundation, we'll build cribs and then we'll unhook these dollies and the semi. But to roll it over, once we get up next to the foundation, usually it takes us about an hour and a half or
Really?
so. Yeah, to get it
Wow.
rolled over. And then usually sitting it down is usually quicker. I'd say from when it's rolled over above the foundation, it'll be about an hour. It takes to
Really?
get it on the foundation.
From start to finish, the process went remarkably smooth. The transition from truck to foundation was quick and seamless, with minimal stress or damage to the building's interior. The exterior required only minor finishing touches, blending the base into the new foundation, installing gutters, and adding a new deck. District 27 looks right at home in its new and hopefully permanent location in the heart of Indianola. 2 days later, on Thursday, March 27th, it was the blacksmith shop's turn to move. Aside from a couple small hiccups, the journey into town went just as smoothly, an unforgettable sight for those who witnessed it. Positioning the blacksmith shop onto its foundation took a bit more finesse. The cement pad initially seemed too small, but turned out to be just slightly wider than needed. After a bit of teamwork and discussion, the crew worked it out, and by the afternoon the blacksmith shop was set in place. That wasn't the end of the work, though. Boards were added to close up the base, a concrete floor was poured inside, and siding decisions needed to be made, which led to a light-hearted moment in the process. Someone mentioned that Griff's favorite color was pink, and we nearly painted the entire building accordingly to honor him. But as it turned out, that may have been a case of friendly misinformation. Instead, the blacksmith shop was painted a classic barn red. And what an eye-catcher it is. Truly a symbol of pride in our community's effort to make Indianola beautiful again. We hope that these restored buildings, along with other signage, historical markers, and local attractions, will continue to encourage travelers to stop and explore Indianola. In fact, we already experienced our first big success. The entire community came together to welcome the 37th annual Tour de Nebraska, a 5-day bicycle ride that rolled through our town. Thanks to the help of Bob Mart's hit-or-miss homemade ice cream machine, the Southwest High School cheerleaders, the Roundup, the Wannabe Costume Shop, and other local businesses, Indianola became a must-see stop along the route. Riders from all over the country stopped to rest, refresh, and enjoy the charm of our town, including a visit to the Historical Society lot.
Well, I always said thank you guys for supporting the bike ride, but most importantly, thanks for preserving the past. I mean, we kind of lose that sense of where we are and how easy things can be today when you look at how those structures and just what we did in the past. So I appreciate that.
My name is Charlie Schilling, and I'm from Indianola, Iowa, and I'm the organizer of Tour de Nebraska. And I am delighted, one, to be here with the hospitality, and then to learn about the name of the city.
I had to tell him why we got the Indianola name.
Yeah,
we got it from his hometown,
I don't know.
Indianola, Iowa.
That's right.
And
I
it was
did
named
not
after
know
Indianola.
that. Yeah.
You know, E.J. Starbuck and the boys came out here, and Edgar Hill, they came out here from there, and they named this settlement after their hometown.
Starbuck and Hill, okay. Fascinating. We try to go as local as we can with our flavors, whether it's craft beer or whatever the
Ice cream.
whatever the ice cream, whatever the flavor of the community is. So, yeah.
The schoolhouse is already proving itself as a valuable community space. It can host a wide variety of functions, from local art shows like the one happening today to fourth grade field trips that bring Nebraska's history to life in a uniquely immersive setting. Our goal is to also equip the blacksmith shop for regular demonstrations and hands-on educational courses.
Okay, we'll reheat it and we'll flatten it out. There's two ways you can do it. You can do it with an anvil, or you can bring it over here when it's hot and put it in the vise, and you can work that twist out to the vise. That's the easiest way.
Alongside Tony Howard, Bartley blacksmiths Pat Sides and Jim Foster have stepped up to share their skills to be part of the services we offer. Historically, blacksmiths were a cornerstone of every community. These skilled artisans crafted everyday essentials, tools, wagon parts, household items, and farming equipment. Though their trade diminished with the rise of mass manufacturing, we are now seeing a resurgence of interest. People are growing tired of cookie-cutter products and rediscovering the value of unique, handcrafted goods. Each of our local blacksmiths bring their own specialty to the forge. Tony Howard is known for his custom metal crosses and his talent for teaching.
It's 2.5 inches long. If I remember right, I cut up 1.5 inches this way and 1 inch down this way.
Okay.
The bottom piece here becomes the top. These two top pieces, you spread them out and they become the arms. So you flip this piece up, you spread these out, and that's how you make a cross.
Okay.
Jim Foster focuses on wagon wheels and stunning Damascus knives. Pat Sides creates both decorative and functional pieces, many forged from railroad spikes. We're excited to see this tradition thrive once again and to offer future generations the opportunity to learn and create with their hands.
Where are you from?
I'm from St. Francis.
The Indianola Historical Society is off to a great start, but we still have a long way to go in turning our full vision into reality. Thanks to the generosity of donors and grant programs, we have made significant progress, and we continue actively pursuing additional funding. Every dollar of support we receive for the Historical Society, these buildings, and our corner lot is an investment in the future of Indianola and in the cultural and historical preservation of Redwellow County, Nebraska. Remember, Indianola was the site of the first county seat and courthouse for Redwellow County. It can be difficult for a small town to remain vibrant and visible, especially when you're a bedroom community to larger nearby cities. We are working hard building attractions, amenities, and services that not only preserve the past, but invite people to be part of our future. We have been fortunate to receive encouragement and recognition from organizations like Redwellow Tourism. They believe in our mission, and we know many of you do too. If you would like to support us, we are incredibly grateful for any and all donations. You can also become a member of the Indianola Historical Society by signing up at today's event or by speaking with one of our members. The $30 yearly membership includes a subscription to our monthly newsletter, the Indianola Historical Review, full of local stories and updates. We are always welcoming new volunteers. If you're interested in helping out, even if it's just a few hours here and there, please reach out. It's the collective efforts of everyone in the community to make Indianola truly the best little city out west. After this video presentation, we invite you to join us for a Q&A session followed by a special ribbon-cutting dedication ceremony. Stick around for homemade brownie sundaes, hands-on interaction with our local blacksmiths, and displays from area artists. With your continued support, we can make Indianola a premier destination for historical tourism, storytelling, and small-town pride. Thank you all so much for being here and for being part of this incredible journey.